be of interest. I know that when I was a kid, I heard some of your childhood stories, Walter's and Mark's, and when I was a kid, we had it really rough growing up back in the Motor City, which was what they called Detroit back then. If we wanted to watch television, we had to get up and move our molecules through space-time, just like Reggie Watts was saying, to another room. We would have to walk across the room, bend over, extend our arm, and push a button. Then stand up, move our molecules back, and sit in a chair. And we had a choice of, what, 4 channels, something like that? And if we sat there long enough, it was terrible, I'm telling you, we had it wrong. If we sat there long enough, it got really boring. And then what we'd have to do is stand up again, move our molecules across the room, bend over, extend our arm, and either change the channel or turn it off, which is what we usually did. Turn it off and go outside and play, which is what we did. And we had a sense of ourselves that was outside of the media. There was ourselves, and there were media experiences that we opted into when we were willing to experience them. If the phone rang and nobody was home, and nobody there to hear it, did it make a sound? Nobody will know. Nobody will ever know. So now, kids are born, and like literally in the hospital, they're being recorded and they're being put out on Facebook, and from the minute they're born, the media is in their face. It's in their computer. It's in their back pocket. It's in their car. It's on their nightstand. It's everywhere. The media, I don't know if I'm supposed to do it. I'm supposed to do it. Gotta get used to this. So, the media is everywhere. And the kids who come into my classroom now, media. The kids who come into my classroom now were born after Al Gore invented the internet. So they have never been digital natives. They have never lived a sense of themselves outside of a hyper-mediated experience. We're in a hyper-mediated culture right now. And there's no they there outside of me. So they come into my classroom to learn about something that they've been consuming like oxygen for their entire lives. But when you consume oxygen, it doesn't impact what kind of human being you are. It doesn't impact your tastes and your idea of what constitutes beauty. It doesn't impact your idea of who the dominant class of people are or anything like that. That's just oxygen. If you breathe media, everything you consume, everything you take in stays in there. It doesn't come out like oxygen. It stays in there and it becomes part of who you are and the kind of human being you become. So I asked my students, my new students, they're shiny fresh, some of them it's their first day in college, and they're excited to be there. And they think they know a lot about me because they grew up inhaling it. And I say, so what is your most valuable asset? And most of them look at me and say, my money. My money. And I'm curious about that. And I tell them, actually, if you want to know my opinion, you want to have a choice. I say, and some of them are curious and they say, oh, come on, why? I say, why? I said, well, if you think about it, what is the one thing that every piece of media ever created in the history of the universe wants from you? Your attention, right? And why do they want that? Because it's valuable to them. So I ask our students, I say, how many of you watch the news? And a few will raise their hand, less and less and less. And I'll say, why do you do that? And inevitably, somebody will say, to be informed. And I say, that's really sweet. Because when I grew up, that's what it was. Don't believe it necessarily, because that's probably not true. And I really, that sounds a lot like don't believe everything here. And that's not really true. Then somebody else will raise their hand and they'll say, well, isn't it possible that, you look at the miles on advertisements, and they've all been photoshopped to look like these great hidden on these things. Part of the class. But the hegemonic standard people, they want us to think that we're all supposed to look this way. And they say, well, that's interesting and that's accurate, but that's something that don't believe everything you see. And that's what I'm talking about here. And so then somebody will say, well, you shouldn't believe everything you see because you might believe things that aren't true. I think, well, that's accurate. But no, that's not accurate. So we go into I asked them, we have to understand this concept. We have to understand what the underlying assumption is that even allows me to make this statement. What is the underlying assumption that allows somebody to make that and say that as a sentence? What do we understand? When I say, here's an if, don't believe everything you think. And this is going to be big. And I said, this is going to be huge. This is going to be a life changing. This, if you get it, will change everything about the way you live from now on to the rest of your life. And you don't get it, it'll find it. But really, there's a significance to that I want people to really look into. It's your thoughts chatter. They chatter away in your head all the time. And they start with the word I sometimes. I want this, I want that. But they're just masquerading it. Have you ever, even once, changed your mind about anything? Well, you know, there is a facility within you that has the capacity to override it. There's something else in it. So, there's an Asian proverb, and we think the proverb that says the mind is a powerful, powerful tool. Until it does. And I like to put out there to my students that growing up in this hyper-mediated society where there's nothing but chatter coming at them. There's nothing but chatter coming at them that they're not taking dominion over their powerful tool. Nobody has really showed them, first of all, they don't necessarily have the concept that their mind is supposed to work for them. And second of all, they've been sharpening all these classes where they learn all these great facts and great things, but it just adds to the chatter, it adds to the noise. There's no, again, they there. They're not in there, it's just noise. And so they're letting their mind actually sometimes unless you have these concepts. So what's that got to do with not believing our thoughts? Well, first, we talked about your thoughts are not you. Let's talk about belief, the second part of that. What is a belief? Anybody know what a belief is? And I ask them, and they raise their hands, and then they take guesses, and they're right. So, if you look in the dictionary, it will tell you that belief is an acceptance that a statement is true or that something is true. It's kind of like some of the other things I've heard. Esther Hicks says, I think the belief is before you get to that acceptance, before you get to that something is true, before you get to something becomes a belief is just a thought. So choose any piece of that noise in there, grab onto it, focus your attention on it, repeat it, and over time, you'll come to believe it. So, then you start to believe it. So, you can do that with any thought. You can have a thought. You can thought any thought. So, there's a difference between having not thoughts. You can have thoughts. Your attention is going down to that set. You have no awareness of your thoughts. In the academic world, cognition, the ability to look at what you're thinking and articulate it. You can choose to focus your attention on some thoughts over others. But a concept, wow, I don't have to just let my mind run show. It's not everywhere. So, my whole thing is that our experience is a reflection of inner reality. And you know, sometimes you hear these New Age people say, you know, you create your reality. How is that? So? There's a lot of things that happen in my life that in our reality. So try to think of what would be the most scientific way to explain that phenomenon that has been observed over the years, like high school. So here's what I can do. The thought is a unit of mental energy. Right? You have a thought in there, it's noise, some kind of energy. You know, the energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It doesn't disappear. It transmutes into something else. Okay? So the thought energy, when given your attention, your precious attention, you focus on this thought, or repetition it transmutes itself into feelings or mood. Now, emotional energy, physiologists know this way better than me. There's chemicals that happen in the body when you feel something. So there are little physiological manifestations to our emotions. There's hormones, there's adrenaline, there's cortisol, there's all kinds of things. There's fear hormones, there's hormones that induce euphoria, there's all kinds of physiological states that correlate with our emotions. So we have those. The emotional energy takes on a chemical reality of the body, we call it our feelings. We have a thought, we nurture that thought enough to where we feel it in our body. Feelings impact our behavior. Right? If you feel a certain way, you're going to dress a certain way, you're going to talk a certain way, you're going to walk a certain way, you're going to behave a certain way, you're going to use a certain tone of voice, you're going to use a certain way of speech, you're going to make eye contact. You're going to present yourself to the world in a way that expresses the way you feel. You express yourself to the world and your behavior. Behaviors shape our experience. Those are direct consequences. It's the world. You thought something, you feel something, you behave a certain way. Boom, you get feedback. So, over You can nurture other kinds of thoughts. So you're not your thoughts. You can cultivate or practice an awareness of your thoughts, and by doing so, you impact your entire physical world experience. You take that precious attention of yours, you can focus it externally, as in choosing wisely what media you consume. You can focus it internally, as in what thoughts you're going to nurture and allow to become beliefs and impact your experience. You only have to go over 6 inches of the entire beliefs. This is the part of the guys. We're talking about pressure. You can't control what your mom does, your lover does, your kids do, your dog does. You can't control any of it. But you can control what you're doing in here. And I'm advocating taking that on as a practice. So you can choose to exercise that control and tune your own radio to a station that serves you, or you can abdicate that control to others, which is what I am alleging most people do in this hyper-mediated society that we're in. Make no mistake though, the radio is playing whether you've chosen the station or not. So who's choosing your thoughts? Is it you? Or some other source of information coming in? Choose your criteria carefully, people. This is your brain. I mean, choose something self-honoring. And don't believe everything you think. Thank you.